in addition to researching on the inside, you have to research on the outside. Just like with the Deloitte, Human Capital Trends Report. That's their whole thing. They're forecasting, they're looking ahead. Well, you have to do that for your own industry. You have to do that for your own profession. This analysis tool, you've probably heard of SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This is an analysis tool that I like to recommend because I think it applies even to your career, your job, your industry. And it's called a PESTEL analysis. You'll see it spelled PEST, L-E, PESTEL. You'll see people spell it steeple. But in any event, this is what these 6 letters stand for. You're going to be looking on the outside, and you're going to be looking at the political landscape. We hear a lot of talk, on Capitol Hill. They're trying to do something about tech. They're trying to get involved with AI. I don't know if they can, but things like taxation, tax policy, monetary policy, antitrust, is Google going to acquire Microsoft or vice versa? And what does that do for us as consumers? If we're in the middle of trying to figure out bias in AI, is your government going to support certain kinds of, acquisitions of companies? But we also know that, in the political arena, there are lots of tech leaders, including the leader of OpenAI, who, created ChatGPT, who is calling for some kind of regulatory response from the government. So the politics play a part. And you want to take a look at your industry and see what's happening in the through the political lens. You want to look at what's happening in the economic lens. We hear talk of a recession. We go back and forth on talk of a recession. What will happen in a recession when we come out of a recession? Are we going to hire as many people back, or is that the opportunity for people to be replaced by technology? Under legitimate guise of, the economy is bad. So let's find a way to use more automation. What does that mean long term? The social impact, the demographics, that's a big one for me. Is everybody going to be have the same kind of input? When you work in Silicon Valley and you create software that's supposed to dispense coffee from a coffee machine, but if I put my black hand holding a cup under the dispenser, it doesn't recognize that I'm there because they weren't taking how my black hand might, react with the photo systems in there. These are real things. So I get concerned about making sure demographic groups are represented fairly. Lifestyle, attitudes, public opinion. How are these things going to inform the information that's put out there, and therefore the information that I'm going to get and have to double check out of ChatGPT or any of those or a Bing, question. The technological piece. How are they investing? What are they investing in? Which industries are putting money into AI? I think the expectation is that by 2024, companies will be putting $110 billion into AI. Come 2024, we want to check, did they overshoot that number? Did they go below it? What technologies are failing in the process? How many companies are scrapping their hiring tools? You want to be aware of those kinds of things. How many, big promises about AI being able to cure all kinds of illnesses or collect enough data to cure illnesses? How much of that is being realized? How fast is the technology coming out so that it's moving pretty fast. But what does that mean to me in my industry, in my job, in my work? Environmental issues, climate events, pandemic, risk management. All of these things are going to give you some kind of insight into what's out there. And so once you've done the work on yourself and you know what you want, then you start looking at places as to, okay, how is that going to be impacted by it? And of course, there are legal ramifications of everything. You know, if you're in higher ed, we're scrambling now based on, you know, new SCOTUS rulings about affirmative action. And what does that mean? That we back away? No, it means that we double down and create other ways to scrutinize, you know, who gets enrolled and who gets left behind.